All right. See here. Everybody got me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I can't see the questions. This computer magic. Wow, is there really 95 of you already? All right. Can't see the chat though. Wow, is there really 95 of you already? All right. See the chat though. Bear with me for 1 sec, guys. Oh, there we go. You know what I have to do real quick is turn this mic down because I can watch on one. Oh man, geez, look at all these people already. Wow, it's almost like somebody advertised for this. I got my good buddy Ron. Mr. Sheets is on board. Let's see. All right, good. Yeah, there might be an echo from time to time. That internet broadcast. Thanks, Ron. Good. Glad you can hear me. Got some folks from around the country. Oh man, of course. As soon as I bring the SG out, there's questions. Love that. All right. That is my cash clip on my desk. All right. Looks like there's a bunch of people on. I want to take some questions, but what I'm going to be doing here, you won't see me for a while on TrueFire because, they're just so darn busy bringing in the best guitar players in the world. So it's going to take me a while to get in there. And I've been a busy guy. I've been doing a lot of touring, a lot of playing around the country. Um, I guess that's my new nickname, right? Jeff is C Money. I guess there's about $3-4 in there. It's called per diem. That's the only cash I get anymore these days. So yeah, hey, that's good that when two browsers are open, there's an echo. Very good. So anyway, yeah, I've been really busy, and you won't see me probably at TrueFire till sometime late this summer. I'm going to be doing a course with on something that a lot of people ask me about, which is major minor pentatonic stuff, and that's kind of like the cornerstone for my playing is major pentatonics, minor pentatonics, and arpeggios. And frankly, they all kind of fit together anyway. Um, so yeah, that's one of the things I'm going to be working on. Somebody said, "How do I say my name?" It's Congilio. I saw a YouTube comment the other day that said, "Are you sure it's not Coniglio?" And there's a good chance it was Coniglio when the folks came over from the boat. I would be just as happy if it were my middle name or Smith, because that way people could get it right. But it's unique. There's only one of me, so that's what I go on. And there's a question already that says, when will I do an In the Jam? I am scheduled for an in the Jam. That should be fun. I think it's going to be a good course. But anyhow, what I'm doing these days, aside from teaching with folks like you all, and if any of you are my private students, I appreciate your support through the TrueFire website. I love teaching y'all through the private lesson and ongoing lesson function because I just think it's a really good way for us all to kind of cut to the chase. We're all super busy these days with our with our jobs and our families and our devices, pulling us from side to side. And you know, the private lesson function is a really good way to just kind of cut to the chase. People ask a question, we can get right to it, and if we want to, like, expand upon it, we can. So that's really cool. So anyway, that's sort of what I've been doing. In addition to that, I'm touring with a guy named David Lee Murphy. David Lee Murphy is a 90s country, what I would call legacy artist. And David Lee had some big hits in the 90s and has written a bunch of big songs for Chesney and for Aldine, Blake Shelton, people like that. And I got asked to join his band, and we're going to be doing some arena gigs with Kenny Chesney. So I'm really excited to get out there on the big stage with and play some rock and roll guitar, rock and roll country guitar. But it's really like a hodgepodge of everything, and kind of works really well for my playing. One of the songs he wrote for Kenny Chesney is a song called "Living in Fast Forward," and it's just a simple kind of ADE rock progression. Kind of goes. And that's a really good opportunity to try to play both of those major and minor pentatonic ideas. So what I'm going to do is I want to actually loop my rhythm guitar a few more times just so we can really jam here. And I'm going to play. Hopefully we can hear the track. I want to play the track real quick. You guys tell me if you can hear it. Hold on. Here we go. Here's the track. I can hear it good. Let's see if you can play it. Give me a thumbs up on the track if you can hear it. Okay. It's faint. Yeah, I thought it might be. Barely hear it. All right, let me see if I can get a little bit more gas on it. Yes, but the sound is low, not very loud. Okay. All right, I'll try it again. This is probably as loud as I can get it. Any better? Asking for a friend. Andrew says thumbs down. Barely audible. It worked in sound check. That's what they always say. Better, still a little low. Okay, so it's better. Let me just try and see if I can jam with it a little bit. And I'll just give you an idea of what kind of I would play over this song. Again, it's sort of like that song Living in Fast Forward, that Kenny Chesney song. And I'll play sort of the solo ideas, and then I'll kind of riff on it. We'll see what happens. Here we go. Thanks, George. I tried. Okay, so I appreciate all your criticisms, constructive or not. Yeah, so it's I'll tell you what, guys, when it's when you're a one-man operation here doing all this stuff and tearing your studio apart, it gets a little bit crazy. But I appreciate those that are appreciative of what we're doing. But in any case, it's what happens is you get these interfaces, and they have to link up with YouTube, and you have to get them all to speak the right way. And I'd be lying if I said it didn't take me if I wasn't up at 10 o'clock trying to do this stuff already, because I was. So anyway, enough of the rant about the technical stuff. Yeah, so here we are talking about I can still teach, without hearing the track. It's just kind of a fun thing to do. So you can hear the guitar. And we have that A-D-E kind of progression when we're going A, D, E, D, A. Sorry. So then what will happen is I'll just kind of start it maybe in a more of a major pentatonic idea. But what's cool is, you know, a lot of times you can force the minor pentatonic over it. So you can kind of go. There's major, minor. End it with a little minor pentatonic idea there. And what's really cool is, like, you know, in this rock country stuff, when it's all sort of power chord A5, D5, E5 stuff, you have some liberties that you can take. And I found that if you really kind of artfully weave your way through the, you know, through the progression, it's really going to turn some heads and it's really going to be fun. My favorite thing to do, aside, I mean, I love to play in the studio and I love to play live because I love to see, you know, really what the reaction of people is. So if I'm playing an idea like that, you know, I over this Kenny Chesney idea, you know, I might start out something that's, I might think of how would Neil Schon from Journey approach it. Might go, you know. Then I might want to put something that's a little bit more bluesy into it. Then major, maybe more of a southern rock feel. And it comes really from all sorts of influences that I might have, be it southern rock, be it hard rock, blues, even fusion to a degree. But, you know, in any case, these are the kind of things I'm going to be teaching about in more of a blues concept in the upcoming course and courses that I'm going to be doing, because it's going to be a little bit more about, I think, how I play, as opposed to maybe just a sort of a blanketed topic. So that's sort of the direction and sort of what I've been up to. Let me go back and look at some of these questions so I can really connect with some of y'all. All right, let me go way back here. There's some good questions before the tracks. I like this one here. How do I start applying arpeggios in my playing besides just playing them bottom to top and vice versa? I'm struggling peppering it in my playing. That's from MHB Music. I really love that question. And that's something I like to teach on, because if I'm playing the blues, you'll see me teach on this stuff in the future too. I'm going to make sure I'm in tune. I turned my pedal down, but I thought you wanted to hear me tune, so there we go. So so when you have like a you know, dominant 7 arpeggio, right? And you have like a D7. Then you same thing for E7. Right? So what I do is I try to start with a note in there. First of all, let's not take the whole thing. Let's take 1 octave of it. Let's do that, okay? And then let's start with an A7 chord. Right, so we got that kind of groove happening. And let's start not on the root note, let's start on the 3rd. And we're going to slide into it. So we have our 3rd here. This is root, 3rd, 5th, flat 7. Let's take our 3rd and just kind of go. You know, so that's now just 1 note of the arpeggio. Yeah, it's like kind of, you're like, that's also in the A major pentatonic scale. Well, sure it is. But start to look at the skeleton of that. Then maybe start to connect it to another one. And what's cool about that, once you start kind of bebopping around on an arpeggio like that, then you can kind of, I always say, save the licks that you have, you know. For afterwards, you know, and really impress people with the lick that you know. But with your arpeggio idea, slide in from a half step below. Don't start on the root. You'll see me oftentimes go, I just played the arpeggio. That's kind of a fun thing to do. Right? Really fun stuff with arpeggios. Hope you dig that. And then it's the same for major, minor stuff too. You just have to find little notes and don't try to take too much. All right. Let's see. Just sifting through these questions. Okay. How did I develop such great vibrato? And could you explain arpeggio substitution in the blues to bring out the 9th, 11th, 13th, etc.? Well, vibrato is a really, it's a hot topic that I teach on often. Let's turn my headphones up a little bit. I teach about it a lot because it's so often something that people are longing for to add to their playing to sound more authentic. I often teach. If you take a private lesson with me, we can sit down and kind of, I can give you a real bird's eye view here on the camera and get close to my fingers. But I want to pay homage to a guy, Arlen Roth, who I bought his VHS many years ago, and he had this great lesson on vibrato where he took his first finger and he played this A note here, and he took this finger and he made the fulcrum, he called it right here. This is where the fulcrum is. And he pushed really hard, and then he went to the camera, and there was a 45-degree angle indentation in his finger. And he said the whole idea is to pull and let the string come back to where it's tuned to. You don't want to force it back with your finger. So the string kind of does it on its own. And then what he started to do is put other fingers in front of it. It wasn't the most musical idea, but he was okay with that. All the while keeping that finger up against the neck. And if you want to add your pinky, you can too. So when you're adding it on different strings, so that's kind of the shortcut, the short example. But the other thing that I would do is really just try to emulate other players. You can do the Albert King vibrato, which is real wide. Now, this is an instance where I'm pushing up, but I'm still doing the same thing where the string is coming back to where it's tuned. I'm not more of the Clapton style. I'm more the Stevie Ray. And I've kind of developed more into the more of the fusion-y sort of where it's sort of subtle, a little bit more like a Carlton or a Robin sort of a thing. All right. Okay. Let's see here. That was a good question. I like that. Yes, I'm hybrid picking. I can teach a little bit about that. Yeah, I got some questions about hybrid picking. Let's see. Yeah, thanks for thinking I have my own style on that. My thumb is always over the top. My thumb really rides over the top a lot because it works as a mute a lot of times. And yeah, it's awesome when we have a celebrity join the chat. Mr. Sean Tubbs in the house. Good to see you. What amp am I plugged into? I'm plugged into my 67 Princeton Reverb, and I got a whole smorgasbord of pedals down here that I'm monkeying with as well. Not too much though. For that heavier sound, I was using the J Rocket Dude pedal, and for this sound, I'm using the Greer Lightspeed pedal. Those are two of my favorites for sure. With regard to the hybrid picking thing, this is a fun thing to teach because, like so many people, I was enamored with country stuff, you know, and all that, you know, and whatnot. And let me, I'll change guitars, make it fun. I want to show you this new guitar I got. I've gotten a few new guitars, so it's just more than one. This is a cool guitar. Speaking about country stuff, I had this neck for a long time built by play a lot of those Mario Martin guitars. And this was one of his necks from his company called Guitar Mill. And it was on a different, remember that guitar, if you're a TrueFire fans, in my 50 Blues Rhythms course, this was the neck on that little blue telly. I sold that blue telly body, and I had Mario make me this really cool sort of thin line guitar out of ash. It's a gold foil or silver foil pickup here on the neck, and this is actually a P90 in a telly size, which is really cool. And I was just playing around with it, so the strings are probably, I was playing around with the setup and doing some stuff. So, but when it came to the hybrid picking thing, you know, I was enamored with, you know, all the country guys that you can imagine. And I just started developing the hybrid picking thing, and I tried to when I tried to practice it, I would play a pentatonic scale, but I would play it like pick, finger, pick, finger, pick, finger, pick, finger, pick, finger, pick, finger. And then I would start to do some blues licks, you know. And you can hear it in a lot of the country stuff of the 90s and beyond and before. So I wanted to kind of incorporate that into my blues playing as well. All right, so let's see. So what I would do is I would practice those scales: pick finger, pick finger, pick finger, pick finger, pick finger, pick finger, pick finger. So that's kind of where that came from. And what happens is if I really goose it up with some overdrive, you know, and I add some muting, you know, I can really start to sound like a rock guy. If I had to flat pick all that, it would be terrible. I'm not really good at that kind of stuff. Let me go back a little bit. Let's see here. How much do I still practice every day? I try to get in at least an hour or so in the morning when I'm off the road. When I'm on the road, I just try to do some warm-up stuff because you get really distracted. You got to get really focused. Even though you have a lot of free time and you're a lot of sitting around, it's hard to kind of stay focused. So I try to practice during the day, and I'm working on stuff. The stuff I'm working on is like some melodic minor things, and I'm working a lot out of the chord chemistry book. Just getting little stuff here and there just to kind of expand my brain. How How do I see or link my scales? Do I see them in chord shapes or in another way? I don't see them in chord shapes. I see them as almost an overlay. I see them as a minor pentatonic, major pentatonic, and then of course I see major scales first. It really depends on the song. And that's kind of the main things I see, because in that 4-fret area, you have a lot of chromaticism that can happen. So there are mostly any notes you need are kind of within that stuff. Let's see. Look at that some more. Yeah, the hybrid picking really does give it a nice popping kind of sound. So the pickup in this bridge is somebody's asking, Sean's asking, it's actually a P90 in the size of a telly. It's a Lindy Fralin. It's a really cool pickup. I have a traditional telly, and I wanted something that had just a little bit more of a warmer vibe to it. Really dig this guitar. It's a lot of fun. Let's see here. Yeah, he who wins the morning does win the day. All right. So yeah, another thing that I was gonna talk about, but we're gonna leave the tracks out just because they're not working as well as I thought they were. And it's perfect for Jimmy A, who just says he is working on mixing his major and minor pentatonics. Change my sound a little bit here. So if we're in the key of B flat, like a good sort of swing key, maybe a little bit faster. Imagine we're playing like a jump blues. I want to. So picture that in your head, right? One of the things people try to do right away is they'll do one of two things. They'll hear that it's got that little 13 sound or that 6 sound. And they get confused because this doesn't sound the way they want it to. They maybe want a little bit more of that sort of horn line sound. So what I'm doing is I'm thinking the whole time not to go. I'm trying to think of like major, minor. Now I can go major. Whatever. I'm not playing through the proper changes. Anyhow, but my point is that you can kind of just keep it really simple. And really just kind of go back and forth between those two. Yeah, kind of like a major minor calm response. Exactly. That's sort of what I'm going for here. It's a little bit of that. It's a little bit of playing the minor pentatonic over the 4 chord. But really, you can kind of get away with just about either of those. It's a really beautiful thing, especially in a situation when you're playing 13s, you know. And then once you get into the more sophisticated stuff, so, you know, like a 3-6-2-5 kind of change or a 1-6-2-5 kind of thing, you can really start to, you know, play arpeggios and that sort of stuff. Yeah. So how do I keep the timing and chord changes in your head while playing licks, especially unaccompanied? I try not to, sometimes it's tough when the camera gets thrown on you and you're like, okay, how do I teach and talk and play all at the same time? If you've ever taken a private lesson with me, you've definitely seen me like look at my hands and look at the camera and get kind of befuddled, but it happens. We're all human. So I just try to play slow. Like maybe I want to play something kind of fun. So with that kind of stuff, I really have fun with because I'm just kind of getting to do whatever I want. I put a little like C sharp minor 7 thing in there, a little B11 kind of a deal in there. It's really, you can do whatever you want as long as you have a metronome, sort of a metronomic feeling going on in your body. Keep tapping that foot and try to not get nervous. You know what I mean? Like there's moments there that you'll never know where I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. And it's going to happen. But that's kind of my favorite kind of guitar playing. Since we got 25 minutes or so, my buddy Jeff Mackerlane jumps on, and he and I have a lot of stuff in common. And the fact that he's continues to try to be as good of a guitar player as me is something that, we can work on that, Jeff. But it's going to take you some time. Make some more records with Robin Ford, and then maybe you'll be at my level. In any case, no, he's my good buddy. If I were to put on a little fuzz, no, not shots fired. I gave you props. Yes, I will demonstrate some funky rhythms, ninths, and suspended notes in a moment. But somebody said, are you consciously relaxed when I can't? My scrolls. I do hold my breath sometimes. I actually am trying to work on not doing that. A lot of what I do is, you guys can't hear it, but what I actually sing a lot of what I play. So I'll play something in E minor here, and I'll kind of go. So I'll try to sing little ideas in my head, so I kind of can keep breathing. If you're singing, it means you're breathing, and so yeah. So that's sort of how I kind of don't asphyxiate myself. And let's see here. There's a couple other questions. There was a couple ones I wanted to oh, some nice comments. Thanks for saying that my blues course changed your playing. Oh, demonstrate some funky rhythm using ninths, 13th, and suspended notes. I'll try. Take that verb and delay off. Yeah, so some of my favorite stuff to play is super funky stuff. So you got to start with the D9 chord, and you got to know about how to play 16th note scratchy rhythms. And right there, that's my favorite. One of my favorite things to do ever is when you're playing a 9 chord, you can use this little move right here, which gives you the F sharp and the D. I'm sorry, that's not an F sharp. The G sharp. So that's your third there in the D. Slide in there, and then right there, you're going to play a D, and then the octave of that as well. So it kind of inverts itself. So you get that great little movement there from that little, just it's like a little, 2-note little riff there. And of course, that move when you play a 9 chord, you add your pinky to the E string 2 frets above it, you're going to get a 13. But lots of times that's a hard stretch for me, so I'll go. So that's some of the stuff I like to do, kind of raised on Prince and Average White Band, and that sort of thing. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's see here. Yeah. That's right. I'm currently getting okay. So now is the part where we have to promote TrueFire, brought to you by TrueFire.com. Act now for the, let's see what month. It's got to be the Ides of March sale on now at TrueFire. They are the best. They have no sense of humor there. All right. Let's see some more. Man, you guys are just having a blast. Josh Smith, never heard of him. All honesty, thank you guys for the guitar instruction from TrueFire. Yeah, he's right. He needs to thank TrueFire because you guys are the best. You wouldn't know who I was if it wasn't for TrueFire. So we give them a big round of applause. How do I practice loosening up my wrists for rhythm playing? Or is it a specific technique? Well, to me, it's all in the 16th note, whether you're playing the 16th note funky thing, or you're playing acoustic rhythm. And to me, it's all, like I said, 16th note, because the way I teach, if you're someone that is looking to, you're saying, man, I just can't get my right hand in order. It could really, and look at Jeff right on cue. Jeff Sheets right on cue. The stuff I teach in my acoustic courses even the most basic stuff is really valuable. I mean, what again, like I'll take you straight from quarter note playing, because there's value in that. I mean, there's times I'll have to do that or in the studio, or I'll have to go 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll do that on acoustic tracks, and it's got to be perfect, like a metronome. And that translates into all of your sort of being as a guitar player. And then once you get to 16th notes, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. And then if you want to play like, you know, some kind of John Mayer-y sort of thing, you know, where there's some kind of like 16th note, you know, maybe it's like a, and then you got to sing too, so you got to put that on top of it. But all of that stuff starts to filter into all the playing. It's not just for acoustic rhythm guitar or funky electric guitar. It all works across the board. I'm always sort of pulling back those influences, like I don't know, just like it's a Rolodex or something. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, okay, what does that sound like? What does that feel like? All that kind of stuff. And then once I get that, then I really start to kind of put it into use and just say, okay, this is sort of what it's emulating, essentially. There was something else I was going to add to that, but you guys are just on fire tonight. Steve, you're the man. Thank you so much, Steve. You've been a loyal follower for a long time, and I really appreciate that. You're doing a great job, dude. That's a question about the video I did with Brett Papa on how to spice up my solos. Yeah, that's going to be coming. I'm doing a major minor pentatonic course in the summertime with TrueFire. And then, yeah, that will have some of those tricks in there as well. Play faster. I can't play faster. That's the problem. Nobody cares. Nobody cares how fast you play. We're getting back into the 80s, though. I'll tell you that, though. With the Instagram culture, it's all pretty much like, how fast can you play? How you know, impressive can you be? And I'm just the guy trying to play songs, get a paycheck. That's what I do for a living. It's so fun. I gotta say, playing rock and roll, playing country, man, it's really my love is the blues, but I'll tell you, it's great being out with a bunch of great players playing playing to people that really want to hear you and spent their hard-earned money to come out. It's really cool. I'd love to come to San Diego and do a workshop. I love San Diego. Been there a lot. That's a good question. How sensitive am I to neck sizes? Well, here's the thing. I have a new theory on neck sizes, and I think y'all are going to enjoy this because I am of the thicker neck variety type guy. I played a couple guitars. Let me grab my PRS. So there's there's a lot of camps. There's the skinnier neck guitar camp. There's the chunkier guitar neck. Find my cable. And here's my thing. If you were to take your hand and kind of squeeze it like this, you're going to feel some tension right here. To me, that's a skinny neck. But if you had a large neck and you do that, you're not going to feel as much pressure there. So that's why I think once you start, playing a chunky neck, like this is a 594 PRS, and it's got a big old 59, like Les Paul 59 neck on it, and it's super comfortable. And the first thing everybody says is, that doesn't sound like a PRS that I've heard before, which just makes me really happy because I love P90s, and I think this guitar really sounds great. But it's got a really fat neck on it That's the blue SG everybody always asks about is a 64 Pelham Blue refin. It's gone through so many different owners, paint jobs, but it's still a 64, and it's got that great sort of early 60s neck that sort of gets chunkier up here. It's really nice. That Telly has a nice chunky C neck. The reason I saved that neck was because I really loved the way it felt, and I wanted I wanted to put that on another guitar. Most of the guitars I get with a chunky C type neck. I really enjoy that. Yeah, that's really nice. So in the David Lee gig, the other guitar player plays a gold top too. He played, but it's a Les Paul, and it's humbucker guitar. But this has a little bit more of that open jangle. I'm a fan of, big fan of, Mike Campbell. He's one of my favorite guitar players. And man, he just has that sort of real authentic. You just can hear the strings, and that's really what I want to go for sure. Cool. Well, we're getting pretty close to wrapping it up here. I love all the sort of random stuff that you guys think of. It's pretty amazing, and it's such a great turnout, man. I don't know how many total we've had, but we're well over 100 people, which is great. Let's see here. Thanks so much. Love the major minor blending of the chord tone. Oh, you're welcome. Whatever chromatic walk up at the end was cool. Sure, I'll buy that. Those Music Mans are nice. They are slim, but they play really well. If you hear a harmonic, go for it. That's what I say. Yeah, and Joe Walsh, just another guy. Like, one of the things I've thought about with Joe Walsh, because the drummer I play with has played with Joe Walsh in the past, and he would say, like, they can't hear fast at the back of the room. They can hear slow at the back of the room. So yeah, so that's why it's like, everybody can digest that. You know what I mean? So it's fun to just kind of really milk it and make sure the people in the back of the room are hearing you. Hey, Chris, I think I have 15 courses out now. And yeah, so my TrueFire channel, what I'm throwing up there is random stuff. I'm doing interviews with players in town when I'm home. You're going to see another one that I did with my buddy in California who you may have seen me play with, be on his channel before. Last name Pierce, first name Tim. He's become a good buddy of mine. Yeah. In what order would I recommend my courses? That might be the best question we got. Of course, it depends on what you're looking for. I would really recommend my best one is bestseller, I would say, just because the popularity and the need is 50 Blues Rhythms You Must Know. It takes you from literally, if you're someone that's just kind of doing that, all the way up to those kind of things. And it does it all in the same key for the first 40 examples, so you're not jumping around and getting confused and changing keys. After that one, depending on, you might want to check out 30 beginner blues licks you must know. That's a really good one. Once you get a handle on that, you might want to jump over to Solo Factory. Once you do Solo Factory, you can go to maybe one of the Texas ones to get a little bit different flavor. Blues Fake Book is really good because you learn actual song types, you know, and you're able to kind of jam with that a little bit, which is really cool. And geez, I'm forgetting them. If you want to sit down and jam with me, the Trading Solos courses are really cool too. Oh yeah, so my buddy asked me about, sent me a message on Instagram and said, if I'm, you know, I'm moving to Nashville, give me some tips. He asked me about the Nashville number system. I think TrueFire even has a course or two on that. But the Nashville number system is one of the single most important things that has elevated my my playing, because I kind of see everything in numbers now, whether it's intervals of arpeggios or songs. You know, you're going to see a video come out that we'll share. I did it with Tim out in his place, and I said, hey, I want to do a video on capos. I know you're a studio guy. I use capos all the time. And I would take progressions. We would take a progression in C, like 1. Let me make sure this guy's in tune here. Like 1, 4, 6, 5. And then if he was playing that, I could capo 3, and I could go 1, 4, 6, 5, or I could do it in here, and I could go 1, 4, 6, 5, and we do some really, really fun stuff with it. It's really, really cool. So yeah, that's how the number systems really helped me. And if we're in B flat, you know, and I want to play here, that's how I see it. I see it like that, out of the G position, like 1, 6, 5, 4. But maybe I'll be the second guitar player on a session or something, and I'm usually the guy with the capo because I love capos, you know. And then maybe I'll just go. And what I'm playing against, what the capo person will be playing, is going to really make this wonderful harmonious sort of thing, because we're not stepping on each other. It's impossible to at that point. We do a couple songs in David Lee's set that are like that, because, you know, one of the songs, it's a big rock song, but it's called Waylon and Willie and a Bottle of Jack, and the intro goes. And man, it really rocks, even though I'm capo 5, you know. You can hear how good that sounds just even through the internet, you know. There's another one we play where I have to go. You have to retune a little bit. It's a cool song, trust me. There it is. It's got this cool open droning note here. There'd be no other way to do that. Yeah, of course, I'll be in tune when I do it. In any case, man, that's probably about it, you know. I'm getting some praise here. Thanks, Ron, for endorsing 30 Beginner Blues Licks. You're doing a great job on that. That guy likes Rock Studio Robert Jay-Z likes Trading Solos. Great. Thanks for the kind words from Down Under. How about when I'm playing, do you think of GCD or do you think of 145 when actually playing the progression? I actually think of the numbers. I've gone that far into the number thing that I'm always thinking of the numbers all the time. I write charts all the time. I write Nashville charts for songs that I'm learning because I end up like they get kind of imprinted in your brain. You can kind of see the numbers. You know, a lot of songs are the same, like verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, out. There's a guitar solo in there. Maybe that's the same as, um, uh, you know, the chorus or the verse, either one. Um, sure. Thanks for coming on, Rick. You know, this guy likes Slow Blues Guru. Uh, Great. Glad you like it. These are really fun to do these courses. You know, there's never. Sometimes we think we're going to run out of stuff to to teach, but TrueFire assures me that that's not the case. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Subscribe to my TrueFire channel. Um, what's going to be great is you know, after 5 or 6 years of live, I was almost, geez, it'll be 6 years now, living in Nashville. After you know buying a house and trying to get settled and doing all that kind of stuff. Um, I'm in a place where I'm going to be on the road, but I'm have more of a predictable schedule, and hopefully I can create some more content because you know. You, I want to say that all the folks that add stuff to TrueFire, add stuff to YouTube or their Instagram or their Facebook, it's hard work. It's I take it really seriously, which is why you probably don't see as much content from me because I'm my own worst critic and want to make sure it's really perfect before um, before I put it out there. And at the same time, got to pay the bills, and I love playing on stages and riding around in tour buses and being in studios. So I like to do that stuff too. So, but you're going to see some more from me, and let's see. The last minute questions pouring in here. Yeah, you know this fella says this person says well, I'm sorry. It's just Friday afternoon Club One. I don't know who you are, but it's easy to get lost in all the available content. How do I stay focused? Essentially, that's the one of the bigger things I see. So I would just pick a topic. Like what I used to do back in the day is if I was going to check out an artist, I would listen to nothing but them for 6 months, and then I would listen to another artist for 6 months. I went through that period with John Scofield, Mike Stern, Scott Henderson, Robin Ford. Then it was Prince. Then it was Daniel Lanois. Then it was like Americana, Emmylou Harris, Lucinda Williams, Sean Colvin, Patty Griffin, and then it was it goes on and on and on. The Rolling Stones, Led Zeppelin, whatever, and you get a really solid background in that stuff. So the same thing you should probably do with your courses and with your lesson material as well. Um, let's see here. I use hybrid nails. I go to the salon and get those put on. They're not my real nails. That's a good question. Um, um, how important is the hang when picking a gig to take? The hang um, is extremely, extremely important. Um, let's see. I think we got some funny texts coming in. See, that's what happens when people have your phone number and then they watch your YouTube live. um, but the last thing I'll say about the gig, I took the gig that I'm in because the hang was good and it was a challenge. It was a new challenge for me, and it was a way to kind of knock some more things off the bucket list. 2017 and 2018 was really two of the best years of my life playing for Lucy Silvas. We got to open for Chris Stapleton, the Brothers Osborne, Miranda Lambert. We a little big town. We played at the Ryman several times. We played at Red Rocks twice, the Forum in LA. A lot of those are really just bucket lists that I didn't even know. Um, so there were some great years there, and the David Lee gig for me is a new endeavor, and we'll see what happens after that. But for now, I'm enjoying it, and 2019 is going to be fun. So the hang is really important. You gotta, you know, we were on a bus with a full house the other night with the opening band was riding on the bus too. So 12 people in a bus can get pretty tight, but it all worked out. The last question. Corey, was the Tim P work going to be on your channel or Tim's part of the masterclass? It'll be a little bit of both. It'll be on my channel. It'll be a part of Tim's masterclass, no doubt. And that's it. It's going to be fun. We did some great interview stuff. And yeah, so that's it. Yeah. All right, y'all. I'm going to sign off. It's 9 p.m. my time. And if I figure out how to sign off, I'm not sure I know how. Oh, yeah, there it is. Stop broadcast. So yeah, I just want to say thanks for everybody for tuning in. I'm just tickled that anybody would sign up for this stuff in the first place. It's just cool. It's every 14-year-old kid's dream to put out a guitar course and work with some really fun guitar companies and get to tour around and play studio sessions and meet all you fine folks that are supportive. It means a lot. The house that I'm sitting in, a lot of you have helped to pay for, and that does not fall on me. That's something I think about, and I'm very thankful to all the folks out there. Hope to see you out on there. Check my website for tour dates. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, and drop me a message about what you might want to see content-wise, and we'll continue to add it here at TrueFire and other places, social media and others. All right, I'm Corey Congilio. Say hi, stop by online, and drop me an email, drop me a message, and I'll see you on another live stream. Take care.